Dorothy-senpai, please be my partner. The palace pavilion where the social church is being held. In the third party hall, a girl was sitting on the chair attached to the wall, sipping wine alone. Long flowing purple hair, dressed in an elegant purple dress. She had asked the maid of Charles Hall to put more effort into her makeup than usual. In the place of the witch hat she always wore, a petal-shaped hairpin was placed in a pretty place. The second-year head of the School of Magic, Dorothy Hartnova. She was just having a boring time. I have already exchanged greetings with my classmates and seniors and juniors several times. Even the male students' proposals for partners have been rejected many times with a smile. Still, the students glanced at Dorothy, who was just sitting and drinking bitter wine for no reason. With questioning eyes, the dress Dorothy is wearing was the one she had prepared in advance during vacation to wear it today, to social gathering. Looking forward to attending a social church with Isaac. It will definitely be fun. When the offer to become a partner was turned down, I thought there was no need for that. It was okay anyway. It didn't matter because it was fun to be with Isaac. It wasn't something I couldn't understand. It was just a little bit of a heartbreak. But the night before, when Isaac asked to be a partner at first, Dorothy was so happy that she took off. Huh, have you changed your mind?
Man.
Yes, I'm sorry for the change of words, senpai.
Bah.
No. After all, chairman, was it hard to refuse this sister's proposal?
Madam.
Of course, I'm a senior fan. But what about it? The shock of being rejected has not gone away yet. Without the president's sincere escort, I don't think the shock will subside. I risk my life to escort you. I like the sense of duty. Do you like it? By the way, senior, there is something I want to ask you. But Isaac could not fully enjoy the party. Can you wait until 9 p.m.? Huh. Why? Isn't 9 o'clock too late? I don't think I'll be able to enjoy the party for a while. But something has happened. To be honest, even asking to become a partner is not without shame. Chairman, if you're going to have fun and enjoy a party, I want to enjoy it with your seniors. Little boy is a very strange man, because at any time, he showed affection for him, just unconditional love. Isaac's emotions make your heart warm just by looking at it. However, from time to time, Isaac would express his feelings of worry to Dorothy. That was the feeling I had in him yesterday. The president is really disrespectful. It's fine. Dorothy grumbles with both hands on her chin and with a sad expression on her face. Little by little, he was getting drunk, and his cheeks were slowly burning red. If you say that, how can I not wait? In case you have any questions, you can refer to eumtl.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No matter how much Dorothy is said to be the greatest strength of the Marching Academy, to Isaac, it seemed that he was just a woman who had nothing to worry about. The thought touched Dorothy's self-esteem, but it wasn't a bad feeling. A nearby demon has been detected. I've been thinking about it for a week. The idea of completely predicting the flow of the scenario and preventing the bad ending without being noticed is just arrogance. As long as the line was not crossed, some noticeable risk had to be prepared, because the scenario has already been twisted like a dog. The self-taught Heinkel, who should have appeared in the second semester, and Lifa, the imaginary one, left early. The influence brought about an unexpected existence. That demon in this party hall, he was one of those guys I didn't want to run into, especially early. Oh, I'm nervous. As his body trembled violently, he carefully controlled his breathing. The effect of the passive skill, Ice, helped me a lot in controlling my emotions. Come on, calm down and come to your senses. I can do it well. Let's do it. Soon the students turned off Nana Tristan and started partying again. It seemed that he had no interest in the trivial troubles of ignorant students. Rosetta Lionheart. Psychology. I'm afraid of you. I was going to say thank you, but Rosetta immediately turned her gaze away from me. Judging from her psychological state, it would have been better for her not to approach her. Kaya pretended not to know me, as I had already said. Then the other boys, who were staring at me, began to draw attention from me. Males. As I remember from Magical Night of Marching, guys like Kaya seemed to be getting the attention of many male students. It's not that I don't sympathize with that psychology, but it wasn't very pleasant to be on guard. If there was Luce, it wouldn't have been a riot. Luce and Kaya. The presence of the two heroines would have driven the male students into a melting pot of illusions. 'Cause it's so damn pretty. Could it be that they are my lover? However, Luce did not attend this party. Isak, are you going to church? I'm thinking I think it will be difficult. I want to be with Isaac, regardless of the church. I have an important appointment. Man, it was a conversation I had with Luce a few days ago under a tree in the corner of the garden. It was a conversation to check the scenario in Machen's Magic Night. During a conversation with Luce, be my partner. If she doesn't choose the squeaky option, I want to go to the party with you. She'll miss out on the social gathering. Just today, through the contact of the Marching Academy, I made an appointment to meet the wizards of the Eldork Tower. It was a benefit for top-notch students, since there is no horse tower that will not covet the hopeless person who wants to enter the tower with the outstanding qualities of Lucera. Such promises will be made occasionally in the future. Even if Luce had a repulsion towards human, he would somehow manage to have a public conversation in a place related to the horse tower. Luce, who will one day become a magistrate-level horseman and falsify history. I liked her chasing goals. Eva Highrover, who sold my information, also caught my eye. In case you have any questions, you can refer to ubumtil.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. Now that the 4 constellations are recruiting new recruits, there was no reason for the intelligence collectors to hide their identities. Besides, no one in Atlahal would hate the intelligence collector who put him in the 4 constellations. After a while, the band stopped playing. The party hall darkens as the telekinesis magic puts a light veil on some of the glowing lamps. Soon, only the light-emitting lamp on the stage with the blackout curtains began to emit bright light. This is the beginning. All the students shut their mouths and looked towards the illuminated stage. Soon, a jazz-like song begins to play, and the stage curtain slowly opens. A male student in a neat robe appeared. He pulled his bangs back, but he couldn't hide his pleasant impression. He is holding a small megaphone. Was the party host. All the juniors who are making this event bright in response to the invitation of the 4 constellations. Nice to meet you. My name is Luigi Camere, who will be hosting the Atlahal party. As the host, Luigi Camere smiled and bowed his upper body. The students applauded. I am not going to tell you a long story, as you all know. The 4 constellations that hosted this event are power organizations that can be involved in the administration of the Marchand Academy. It is also the qualification to participate in the election for the Student Council President. And the fact that I belong to the 4 constellations is considered a great honor. Luigi continued. Especially, you are promising youngsters who stand out, especially among the current freshmen. The 4 constellations will be the wings that help you soar even bigger. Then, let's have the heads of each constellation leading the 4 constellations of Marchand Academy. Please welcome everyone with applause. The band's performance changes into a grand tune. Luminescent lamps began to illuminate the balcony on the 3rd floor from the aisle there. Students who hold power after the student council began to walk out. I knew it. The expected faces were reflected in my eyes. Black Tiger, the leader of the Black Tiger. Erica Hellod. Blue Wolf, the leader of the Blue Wolf. Ray Rasmorgan. Golden Eagle, the Goldsmith. Brown Felkborough. Red Elephant, the leader of the enemy. Malik of Jealousy. Malik of Jealousy. LV. 155. Race. Human. Attributes. Dark. Rock. Risk. Best. Psychology. I want to steal the cherubim's necklace and kill everyone in this room. Red sports hair. Chubby bum. A man with a ferocious impression. It is said to be a new leader who was recently elected by a vote of the new leader of the enemy. The contrast was very poor, so it was obvious that his identity would be revealed sooner or later. Luigi introduced him as Malik Breyer, but his last name was a pseudonym. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik of Jealousy, a villain in the 1st semester of the 2nd year of Marchand's Magical Night. He formed a pseudo-brother with the fictional Lipa, and was a demon who could transform into a human. The imaginary Lipa told the jealous Malik not to show up, saying it would interfere with his plans. However, as Lipa was killed in the 1st semester, it seems that Malik appeared early in the end. A demon who wanted to become a human? The imaginary Lifa and the jealous Malak. The 2 demons had similar abilities, but there was a stark difference. That is, Malik aspires to be human. Therefore, in Machan's Magical Night, Malik tried to steal the cherubim necklace from Ian. With that alone, the power of demons will be amplified, and their ability to transform into humans will be perfected. The moment the cherub's necklace comes out, Malik's eyes will turn around. What's more, he hates people with promising futures. It is a psychology that combines the instinctive intention to kill as a demon and a simple jealousy. Being born with the human life he wanted, and even prospering among them, makes him angry. Even in this scenario, Malik showed his true colors in a place where high-ranking students were gathered. Perhaps the reason he tried to summon Luce using me was simply his intention to kill her. In other words, Malik will run into a runaway in this place where cherubim, necklaces, and high-ranking students are gathered. It was my purpose to stop him. The problem is that he's classified as a human. The reason why he was among the demons, I didn't want to see, especially early on. That is, the ideal race in which the gnome is in the form of a human is also classified as a human. This means that the conditions for the activation of Destroyer will not be met unless it reveals its true form. It would have been easier if Dorothy's power was there. Dorothy's body is still bound by the curse. The jealous Malak is a native demon. If Dorothy was here, or if she used magic against it, the curse would probably be accelerated, at least until Dorothy passed the Magic Night of Marchand. Act 6. Floating Island Part, in which she lost her life. She shouldn't have been allowed to fight the demons she was born with. Luigi roughly explained what kind of people the 4 Constellation Chiefs were. I knew everything, so I couldn't hear anything. Each of the 4 Constellation Chiefs sat down in a chair that had been prepared in advance. Then, Luigi moved on to the next story. And there must have been a lot of people waiting for this turn. Just today, right here, we would like to share with you the treasures belonging to the 4 constellations in the Marchand Academy treasury, the treasure trove of the Marchand Academy. Since it is a secretly buried place, no one knows its location except for the principal Elena and a small number of academic staff. The wagon containing the treasures must have been moved to this place in secret. Treasures choose those whose mana resonates with them as their masters. Let me give you the treasure that belongs to him. This one is for that little chicken owl. On the stage, next to Luigi, a man appeared, dragging a luxurious cart. all sorts of neatly organized treasures. In case you have any questions, you can refer to uwemtel.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. Next to them were transparent, round cases adorned with golden rims, arranged in an orderly manner like an egg carton. However, the eyes of the students were fixed not on the cart, but on the man who pulled it. To contrast with the luxurious scenery of the stage, it was too heterogeneous. Big stature. The elongated body, like a stretched dough, was very strange. Her whole body was sobbing like a jellyfish, and her skin was as black as pitch black. The juke hair is very pale in contrast to the skin color. A gloomy purple eye glared towards the host Luigi. No one looked at him in human form. What? A student pointed to the monster that was pulling the cart. His voice and fingers were trembling. All the spectators were feeling doubts and fears about the existence of the monster. For some reason, as if he had not noticed anything as much as Luigi, he continued talking calmly. We plan to hold treasure events from time to time until the party is over, so I hope you all enjoy. Hydraulic cannon water attribute 5. Pwong. The blue magic circle that developed in an instant fired a ball of high-pressure water. The seat where the host, Luigi, was opened in an instant. Luigi was swept away by the water, crashed into the wall, and fell to the floor. He fell to the floor, convulsing and spitting blood from his mouth. The band was so startled that they stopped playing. Koyo has arrived. I couldn't even hear anyone's breathing. It was such a sudden situation. It seemed that the students' minds were struggling to understand the situation. The monster that blew away Luigi this time turned its head towards the crowd. A man with a bizarre smile on his lips that reached the corners of his mouth, the words he uttered in succession. Hello. It was a very familiar sound. The first demon I defeated, Trevion of Malice, the guy appeared. Hey, demon. Prepare for battle. Hurry up! Just then, a girl in a panic screams. The students spread a magic circle in a cold sweat, or pulled out their swords from the scabbard they were wearing around their waist. This one is for that little chicken owl, one after another. A group of malevolent Trebelons, identical twins, appeared from behind and lined up on the stage. They each had a bizarre smile on their face. The students looked frightened, but showed no sign of backing down. It looked like they were trying to fight like a top-ranking student. First, the students of the Faculty of Magic begin to use long-range elemental magic, water wall, water attribute, 4 is black water, water attribute, 5 deep sea wall, water attribute. Who are the black water developed by the vicious Trebion swarmed violently, neutralizing the students' attacks. At the same time, the Trebion group repeated their greetings with a sobbing speed. Their greetings echoed the eardrums without mercy. I was on the verge of losing my mind. There are other demons. Stop it. Ice Spear Ice attribute. 4 plus Black Ice Ice attribute. 5 Black Ice Spear Ice attribute. Shoot! 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 The demon Pernicus of Contemplation, dressed in dark blue clothes, came out from behind the stage curtain and started blowing black ice spears at the students in a row. Man, the contemplative Pernicus let out a rhythmically sighing nose. It was very annoying. The students worked together to deploy an elemental shield to block the continuous flying black ice spear, because the defense magic is easily destroyed. It was necessary to repeat the development of new defense magic without a break. Shaw. Say it. Ugh. Wave development, water property. Plus black water, water property. 5. Black wave water attribute. Who are... Suddenly, a shark demon, Orphe of Sleep, appeared from the ceiling and attacked the students with water magic. Kang. Put it in... A giant humanoid queen ant demon, Gargia of the Hermit, appeared through the outer wall and showed off its daunting body. The students' faces turned white. They are trembling with fear, but they raise their enthusiasm for defense magic. Boom, boom, boom. Bew woo. Oh, boo out. A red sky and thorn trees could be seen beyond the half-broken outer wall. It started to come through that gap. It was a herd of dark pink elephants marching in a row as if they were playing on a train. Walking on 2 legs, they hum a song in a strange language and dance as if they had choreographed the choreography beforehand. All the movements were the same without any subtle differences. Boo. A huge red elephant following a procession of elephants. Due to the huge body that reached 10 in height, the outer wall, which had already been smashed by the hermit Gargia, collapsed into even more mess. Beyond that, the landscape of hell lined with thorns and a sea of fire was clearly visible. The giant elephant's head was in the form of a red brain, and the hip dance he was doing exhilaratingly resembled a samba. It was free Elfert. All of this happened simultaneously in a short amount of time. Suddenly, Ian also fainted as if it was natural. There was blood on his head, but he didn't really know why. It's a real big change party. As the demons I had defeated gathered in one place, there was no other idiot like this. Dark attribute magic of Malik of Jealousy. Frenzy of Frenzy. It is a hallucinatory magic in which demons that have manifested within a certain radius come out and eat the mind of the opponent. If multiple targets are affected by the magic at once, they all share the hallucinations. Therefore, people like Vera of the Ministry, Lipa of the Imaginary, and Heinkel of the Self-Absorption that have already manifested in other places do not come out of this hallucination. Anyway, since the impermanent Elfert has come out, there won't be any more. In the hallucination, I project myself as it is. The way the students use elemental magic is proof of that. As we experimented with Magic Knight of Marchen, the Great Tribe combat strength buff was also applied in TAC. That is, even here I am. A gangster limited to demons.
Bah.
The demon was recognized as an enemy.
Bah.
Unique trait Destroyer is activated.
That's
Levels and stats temporarily increase significantly. The skill tree temporarily becomes plus 10. Lightly waving his hand, he let out rock mana. The target was the students who were being pushed by the demons. Snow Shield rock attribute. 6. The students all look puzzled when a translucent light brown protective shield was placed around them. Like Freeze Shield, it was a magic that completely ignored my stone magic and protected the target. Perhaps they sensed my magic. The students and demons held their breath and looked at me all at once. What? That magic is... Isaac. You... The vain blonde nobleman. Tristan Humphrey. His eyes widened and his mouth widened. He was surprised by the amount of mana I had. Likewise, all the students present, including Amy Holloway, were amazed at me. Isaac... Kaya seemed surprised that I had revealed herself. Well, it didn't matter. When Malik of Jealousy is slain, the memories of the time he was under the hallucination magic are replaced with memories that have been processed according to the circumstances. By the way, what the processed memories will be is random depending on the person's mind. So I don't know what kind of chaos will unfold after the jealous Malik is slain. It's not dangerous. It doesn't matter if you get out of this hallucination first. I will escape from this world of hallucinations. And if I succeed in slaying Malik, what happened here will be remembered by no one but me. But, whatever it is. Still, I don't want to leave them in the middle of hell. A group of demons like that can't be wiped out even if it's a vicious Kaya. The students will most likely die horribly, and this place will turn into hell. In case you have any questions, you can refer to wmtl.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No matter how much they lose their memories, traces remain in their hearts. So I didn't want to let the youngsters here have a terrible experience. All the demons took a vigilant stance towards me, as if it was not the time to care about other students. The most dangerous enemy is right here, so it was a natural reaction. Let's get organized quickly. I stretched my right arm forward and let the rock mana flow. A majestic Atla Hall filled with demons. A light brown magic circle large enough to fill the wide ceiling. Drew a trajectory. A group of demons. Looking up at the magic circle I developed with questionable faces. As it is, I poured out my magic. Hwangsuk Shower rock attribute. 6. Relentless firing. The magic circle I developed started pouring a large amount of pyrite that gave off a light brown color at a tremendous speed, a solid yellow line engraved in the air without gaps. Calcite showers of high density mana. It was as if the magic circle was shooting machine guns using pyrite bullets. In the situation of the demons, there would be neither room nor place to escape from the Hwangsuk, which was about to touch the students, was absorbed by the snow block as it was, and was incapacitated. All the demons were pierced through the rocks to the point where their shape could not be recognized, and they became tattered rags. Before long, let the magic circle stop pouring out sulfur stone. Sha. Put it in. Pukiak. The party hall was soaked with the blood of demons. Soon they turned into gray powder and flew away, and the party hall regained its neat color. Traces of smashed, such as a half-destroyed exterior wall, were still there. What is this? There was such a monster among us? The students exclaimed in trembling voices. They can't even keep their mouths shut and stare at me. It was burdensome. I think it's time for a little bit at this point. The purpose of the jealous Malak is to take the cherubim's necklace and kill the students. I checked it with psychological insight earlier. I don't know if they'll run away right after they've accomplished their purpose or go on a massacre. But that didn't matter. Anyway, I have to deal with him. Cherubim's necklace is the only item that can make Malik's wish come true. At any cost, even at the risk of his life, he would want to get it. Therefore, it was highly probable that he was heading up to the stage to pick up the cherubim necklace, while me and the students here were hallucinating. You won't kill the students before you get the necklace. The hallucination magic that is applied to each target is connected to various parts of the body and nerves. If you kill someone, you will only suffer a little. In other words, it was clear that he would first dispel the hallucinations before killing us. It was the same in Magic Knight of Marchen. In other words, my plan was to get out of this world of hallucinations at the right time. If you escape too quickly and you're close to Malik, you can get hit right away. If we escape too slowly and he gets the cherub's necklace, our lives will be at an end. If he achieves his goal, he will immediately annihilate the students here. Hi. Do it. Maya. This one is for that lil chicken owl. One cherubim was left on purpose. Of course. Half of his body was pierced by Hwangsuk Shower without mercy, so his body was in a mess. There is now only one demon left. To keep Destroyer, you had to have the will to kill him right now and with the next attack. Of course I thought so. At the same time, I planned to use magic to break free from this hallucination. I stretched out my right arm to the side and sensibly pulled out the magic weapon that was located deep inside my body. Serenat. The pale blue mana clumps together and comes into my grasp in the form of an ultramarine scythe. I surrendered myself to the cold that the frostbite gave me. Ice Generation Ice Attribute. 1. A large ice mass was created above Trebion's head, which was crawling on the floor. At the same time, he raised the Frostbite upward for a moment and then lowered it to the floor. Frosty Scythe's unique magic was activated. The Glory of the Frostlord Ice Attribute. 7. I'll have to have it. A magic that deflects all magic that has come upon the caster. Glory of the Frostlord. A light blue glow emanated from my body and spread out intensely. Whoa, woo, woo, woo. Cool. The ice block created by Ice Generation fell and crushed Trebion. And in the brilliance that fills the sight, I quietly closed my eyes. A huge black magic circle large enough to fill the Atla Hall was spread out on the ground. It was the base of darkness attribute magic, Frenzy of Frenzy. Beautiful ceilings with chandeliers and wide walls were turned into a black maze. Frenzy Banquet is a magic that creates a new world of hallucinations. It was similar to the fictional hell used by the imaginary life. This one is for that little chicken owl. Outside the world of hallucinations, you can't even sense magic. You can't even figure out what's going on inside. Students standing still like mannequins with their eyes lost their vitality. The red sports-haired giant, the jealous Malik, passed them and made his way onto the stage with an excited expression on his face. The host Lewis and the ordinary male student who had brought a luxurious cart were both stunned. To let you know that I've been through a lot. Then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak began to examine the treasures neatly displayed on the cart. There he found a necklace with an oval coin attached to it. A monotonous magic circle is engraved on it, and a mysterious white jewel is embedded in it. It was Necklace of Cherubim. Joy spread across Malik's lips. He grinned and reached for the necklace. That was then. Damn it. Ouch. Suddenly, a terrifying sound came from his right eye, and pain came from his right eye. Malik hurriedly pressed his right eye to his hand and moaned in pain, drooling, dripping blood. The hallucination magic applied to each target is connected to the nerves of all parts of the Malak's body. That is, someone escaped from Frenzy Banquet. It was as if he was an existence that could not be bound with only hallucinogenic magic, and even deflected the magic. How is that possible? You know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik was not allowed time to ponder over that question. Rock Wall Rock Attribute. 4. Duck! Suddenly, a wall of rock rises above the stage and blows the cart away. All kinds of treasures floated in the air. Kuwong! Suddenly, a small golem beast, Eden, jumped out of nowhere and jumped, confused Malik. Before he could respond, Eden grabbed the cherubim's necklace and hurled it at someone keeping his distance from him. Thus, the necklace of the cherubim crossed the air and was held in the hand of a man, a Might Rock Attribute. 4. Kudu-do-do. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak hurriedly opened the rock prison and tried to contain Eden. At that moment, Eden was reverse summoned and disappeared in the form of rock mana. Dark flesh emanated from Malak. As for what kind of saboteur had entered, he turned to the man holding the necklace with rage. A dimly lit section where the luminous lamp does not illuminate. A man with semi-curly blue and silver hair was showing a red glow in his sharp eyes. It was in contrast to the gentle impression he had when he first appeared here. For contrast, Malik on the stage was lit by a particularly bright light. He looked at the blue silver-haired man threateningly like a wild beast. You? What are you? A loud voice commensurate with his stature. The silver-haired man, Isaac, stretched out his arm, holding the cherubim necklace behind him without answering. Challenge. Cherubim's necklace appeared under Isaac's hand. A small light brown magic circle was engraved in the air next to it. It was the magic circle of rock. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik frowned. If you do something stupid, will you break this? A cynical voice like frost descended. Meccan's magical night during the first semester of the second year. At first, a man named Malak appeared, taking the position of the red elephant and the leader of the enemy among the 4 constellations. He has a confrontation with Ian Fairytale. If you've played the game for the first time, you'd think Malik was just a villain Sunbae with a bad personality. In the meantime, you must have been puzzled to see how the enemy members had turned into indifferent dolls. Because I did too. They did it because of Malik's hallucinatory magic. Eventually, Malak later reveals himself using Frenzy Feast. Then, Ian invades the space created by Malik and fights a blood battle that risked his life with him. This place, filled with black labyrinths on the ceiling and walls, is the space of Malak. By the way, it's easy to enter Malik's space. This is because it is a place where you can enter at will, but not when you leave, just like the fictional Lipas, fictional hell. In addition, since the Divine Power, which is a light attribute, has the property to drive away darkness, Ian's sword skills revealed Malik's true form. The jealous Malak could change into a human form, but he did not become a perfect human. After all, his true form is a demon. Sometimes, if I slowed down, my human transformation would be unleashed without me even knowing it. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik's aspiration is to become a perfect human, and he wanted to melt into human society and exchange all kinds of emotions with others, cause it was lonely. It was for such a reason that he formed an imaginary brotherhood with Lifa. He believed that his life where he occasionally enjoys killing in human flesh, and spending time with humans as if he were playing with a house, would finally heal his broken life and loneliness? With Cherubim's necklace, his human form can be close to perfection. There will be no more cases of unraveling, the transformation. Then there would be no difference between humans and humans. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik's eyes showed an ice-cold will to kill. Stones began to form around him and float around him. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik's magic that blows like the wind and weighs down on my skin. Brutal. A drop of cold sweat ran down my cheek. Although I was intimidated by it in my own way, my true heart was desperately wanting to live. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malocs are currently classified as human, still at level 155. For me, the conditions for the activation of Destroyer are not met. If only Ian's light attribute attack, which drives away darkness, his true identity will be revealed forcibly. But unfortunately, Ian is now in a state of hallucinations. So, I was trying to take what Malik wanted and stand on an equal footing with him. Even the slightest twist in the situation would cost me my life. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. My heart was trembling like crazy. But I was able to quickly calm down with the effect of the passive skill, Ice Ice. I don't know how I escaped my magic, but give it away, it is mine. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik held out his hand. Command line. It was a tone that stretched out like thorns. You can see the blood rushing out of his right eye. It must have been that my Frostlord's glory had deflected his magic, and the mana circuit that allowed him to use hallucinogenic magic had been broken. Therefore, I will no longer be able to use hallucinogenic magic anew. It's difficult. I did not back down and continued the war of nerves. Are you attacking me with that amount of magical power? Even with a small amount of magical power, a necklace can be easily smashed. Pathetic bastard. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik let out a monologue mixed with sighs. Whining. A dark brown magic circle was engraved on Malik's head. Elements of rock floated over his outstretched hand. Know the subject? The Malik of jealousy. Psychology. I believe that if I torture you, I will surrender. Them. In case you have any questions, you can refer to umtl.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No, sir. If it's gonna be like this anyway. As soon as he read Malik's mind, he was terrified and hurriedly raised his voice. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. My voice resounded through the party hall. You'd be better off fucking your bastard and dying. The famous actor Isaac was called from inside. I'm sure I'm going to lose my life anyway, so I showed a fake resolve that it would be better to make you in trouble and get behind you. If my emotions hadn't subsided with the effect of the passive skill, Ice Ice, my voice would have trembled. As if my provocation worked, the light emitted by Malik's magic circle gradually weakened. Malik of jealousy. Psychology. I'm nervous because I think you can break the cherub's necklace. Pardon. Shit. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik clicked his tongue in annoyance. At any rate, you would think that the necklace of the cherub should not be broken by human interference like me, because that necklace is the only item that can make his wish come true. What do you want? Are you ready to talk now? To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik raised his thick eyebrows. He didn't seem to like my answer. Seriously. To that guy, I am the weakest among the weak. You must be very angry at me for going against my nerves on the subject of the weak. The air is too heavy. There is a pervasive tension. I continued speaking without taking my eyes off Malik. Don't touch the people here and leave now. First of all, I won't break this necklace. This one is for that lil chicken owl. Of course, the negotiation proposal proposed by a weak person like me will not work. But if it takes time, that is enough. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik closed his eyes slowly, then opened them again with a sigh. It's not even worth worrying about. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik narrowed his eyes. Necklace. If you don't put it out quickly. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik stretched out his arm in a direction other than mine. The magic circle that developed over his head also turned along his arm. In that direction. Many students stood still like mannequins. Everyone dies. Is it intimidating? I'm gonna kill everyone anyway. This one is for that little chicken owl. On the surface, it would appear that I am not afraid of Malik. Actually, it's terribly terrifying. In any case, it seemed that I had the spirit of not fearing death, so Malik seemed to have decided that it was necessary to stimulate my sense of guilt. This is a chicken game. If you keep running towards each other, you end up bumping into each other. As a result, both sides suffer heavy damage. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak seemed to have decided to run, even with the risk of breaking the cherub's necklace and mine. Because of just one of you, everyone will die. Above all else, backing down would be absolutely unacceptable to Malak. His pride won't allow it. Swallowed dry saliva. The negotiating table tipped over too quickly, rushed into cornering. There was nowhere to retreat. Let's say that Malak is really trying to kill someone at this moment. And yet, what if I hold on to the cherub's necklace and continue a nerve war with Malak? He will continue to kill students and put pressure on me? This won't happen. But what if I break the cherub's necklace? To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak will kill me right away, tremble with rage, and start rioting. After, this one is for that lil chicken owl. One deep breath. I didn't take my eyes off Malak. If my eyes went somewhere else, my plans would be revealed to him. Please, please. But from now on, the nerve war could not continue. It's a win-win now slowly. Master, you succeeded. At that moment, the voice of a classical and beautiful woman resonated in my head. It was Ice and Snow Dragonhild. Finally. A sly smile spread across my lips. I believed. Why are you smiling? Lightwing/light attribute? Why the not? At that moment, a pure white sword passed through the air. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak noticed the sword flying from the side and tried to avoid it with a bewildered face. Chaying. The sword cut through Malak's legs, revealing a rainbow-colored light source. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak's expression twisted. Light attribute attacks are the weakness of demons. It would be very lethal to him. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak slumped to the floor and hit his butt wheel because one of his legs was missing. He turned his head with a surprised face and looked at the black-haired man who flew the light attribute sword. Fine, did all. Ian Fairytale, the protagonist of Machin's Magical Night. He was glaring at Malak, holding a sword wrapped in light mana. However, there was no life in those eyes. Well, I'm still in a hallucination. However, in the hallucination, he was able to trace the form of Malak. How can you... To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak's mouth widened. It was because the necklace that was hanging from Ian's neck, the Child of Light, caught his eye as if they had found their master. It was a necklace of cherubim emitting a holy white light in the magic circle engraved on my body. He fainted at the frenzy banquet and awakened with the necklace of cherubim amplifying his divine power. Magical Night of Marchin, second year, first semester part. Jealousy Malak? He could activate any number of hallucinogenic magic, and Ian fought such a guy and won. How could such a thing be possible? It was thanks to the light attribute ability and divine power to drive away dark magic. Ian alone would have been helpless against Malak's dark attribute hallucination magic. Frenzy of Frenzy. At that time, Ian was wearing a cherub necklace. Thanks to this, the divine power has been amplified so that he can resist the world of dark hallucinations. He was able to discern the form of the magic caster beyond the blurred world of hallucinations, so Ian was able to move his arms and legs. At the border between the world of hallucinations and reality, he was able to deal with the jealous Malak. I'm sorry. I dragged you out to show this. Is this the true story of Cherubim's necklace buff? My heart is enlarged. By the way, how did Cherubim's necklace come to be hung around Ian's neck? Fortunately, my plan worked. I am now in a dim section where no luminous lamps are illuminating, and he even deliberately stretched the arm holding the necklace behind him. It was to prevent Malak from discovering my plans. In conclusion, the necklace I was holding was not that of a cherub. It's just a pre-made imitation. I'm glad you got it right. Meh. I shrugged my shoulders, lightly squeezing the imitation necklace I was holding back in my hand. A few days before the start of the social church, I found Eva Highrover, who sold my information, and roasted her, since I have psychological insight. It was very easy to penetrate Eva's inner feelings and drive her down. In case you have any questions, you can refer to uemtl.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. Not to mention, Ava was even afraid of the aftermath because of selling my information to the enemy. It will be easier to keep your mouth shut. The Miscellaneous Mob in the Magic Night of Marchin, Act 5. Chapter 3. Blue Ring vs Red Sergeant Part. Eva of the Hidden. Eva uses stealth magic. Stealth shows a very small amount of magic power, so if you don't have high mana detection, it's difficult to detect Eva in stealth state. Even Eva is a character who has her own identity and hidden. There is no one who can follow Eva at the Marchin Academy to hide their presence. In Magical Night of Marchin, it wasn't a particularly annoying mob because it was caught by itself if you just use a wide area weapon. But it was a very useful guy to use in my plan. I had already told Eva that when the Atla Hall party started, go out to the hallway and wait for Ice and Snow Dragonhild's instructions. In the hallway, Ice and Snow Dragon must have threatened me according to the script I had prepared in advance. He must have persuaded him well, adding that it was safe to enter Malak's space. After all, Eva, who entered Malak's space, sneaked up to me. who was fainting, and held her breath and waited. And as soon as I got out of Malik's hallucinatory magic, I took out the fake necklace. With the help of Eden, he took the necklace of the cherubim and secretly handed it to Eva, who was standing behind him. Eva's hidden makes even objects touching her body unrecognizable. Proof of that is that even the glasses she is wearing and the clothes she is wearing become transparent. There is a limitation that it cannot be hidden when it is in contact with other living beings. But it didn't matter. The cherub necklace that Eva received became transparent in an instant. She slowly approached Ian Fairytale, and, as I instructed, I put a necklace of cherubim around his neck. As a result, Ian was able to resist Malik's hallucinatory magic. This one is for that little chicken owl, on stage, under bright lights. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik is bewildered as if he doesn't understand English. What happened? Divine power is the ability to illuminate darkness with light, forcing Malik to reveal his true face. Both of Malok's eyes were dyed bright red. Black wings protrude from his head. His head grows in size at a rapid rate. The muscular body is also swallowed by the head. It looks like a strange rock. The host who was on the stage and an ordinary boy who had been dragging the cart were pushed out and fell off the stage. This one is for that little chicken owl. One after another, dozens of human heads pierce his skin and begin to grind his teeth. Clap, crack. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. My eyelids are beating and tearing apart. The two eyeballs dyed red grew to about 3 mm in diameter. Black wings, which seem to be unable to do their job, flap their shabby wings over the hairs of their head. The even teeth that extend to the chin are clearly exposed as the mouth is torn. He grinded his teeth non-stop and rough, crackling, creeping noise. The jealous Malak, a demon who always grinds his teeth with inferiority and jealousy. The guy showed his true face, Malik of jealousy. 160. Race, demon. Attributes, dark, rock, risk, best, psychology. I want to kill you. 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 On a weak topic and a weak bug topic, you made me very angry. Hard. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Harder and harder than anyone else. Hard. I will put a skewer in his mouth, grind his limbs with rocks, and kill him with as much pain as possible so that he shudders with regret. Hard. A jealous Malak who develops a large magic circle. It's the first time I'm glad to see the abomination of demons. Hib, Eva, who was in stealth state, hiccuped in shock. You were hiding in the corner. In any case, the jealous Malak seemed displeased with the weakness of my nerves. The demon was recognized as an enemy. Unique trait Destroyer is activated. Levels and stats temporarily increase significantly. The skill tree temporarily becomes plus 10. Okay. Well, from now on, you should be able to feel the difference in power. I slowly approached Malik and began to shed ice mana and rock mana, stones lying on the roadside. The inferior student of Class D, Eva Highrover, has called herself so. Although his magical talent is superior to the average in the Gerber Empire, compared to the talented students who flocked to the Marchant Academy, it was a very low level. That's why, among the 4 constellations, when I was recruited as an information collector for Red Elephant, Eva was determined to give everything she had. Only then will he be able to prove his worth at the Marchant Academy. But apparently he had made a mistake. In case you have any questions, you can refer to uumtl.com. For references, I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No matter how little mana sensing, Ivara could feel it desperately. Isaac, that man is overflowing with unimaginable magical power. It's hard to pass on my information. Eva, I remember the words Isaac said in a serious voice. I mean, what kind of creature did he touch? What kind of existence did you mean to forsake the heart? I'll never talk to myself again. I'll live quietly. The overwhelming feeling of fear and despair, I felt like crying. Eva's determination to sacrifice everything for the enemy had long since collapsed. In case you have any questions, you can refer to uwimtel.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. Now, even the crumbs of that broken resolve were shattering into pieces. What happened? Why is my magic power suddenly... To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik's big eyes widened and grew even bigger. It was surprising. No matter how strong the jealous Malak is, my magic is far superior to him. He slowly turned his gaze to the side. Ian was collecting light mana on the blade. The pure white law circles unfolding around him. Are you planning to write Apostle of Light? This one is for that lil chicken owl. Originally, using Apostle of Light on the hell difficulty of Magical Knight of Marchant required a high degree of control. This was because the preparation time it took to activate the skill was long. I had to be able to calculate the dizzying timing well. It was also a skill that was guaranteed to perform that much. Great. In the Magic Knight of Marchant, Act 6, Floating Island. Part, Apostle of Light is an essential skill. If Ian doesn't write Apostle of Light in the heart of Floating Island, there will be no way for me to save Dorothy. So, on this occasion, I wanted to see if Ian could use Apostle of Light properly with my own eyes. Rock Collapse Rock Attribute. 4 plus Darkness Rock Attribute. 5 Dark Hammer Rock Attribute. Woo 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 woo. A large black rock protruded out of the magic circle Malik had deployed like a hammer. Dark Hammer. It was about to take me, Ian, and the other students down. It doesn't come easily. But I lifted my index finger up and activated Elemental Magic. Rock Rock. 4 plus Ice Ice. 4. Fossil Ice Rock plus Ice. Duke. Kang. Following the movement of my fingers, a wall of thick colored ice rose at once, as if it was wrapped around a Malik of jealousy. A thick wall of ice with mana flowing like blood. Fossil Ice. It was the most powerful magic among the defense magic I could use right now. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huihui. Malik's Dark Hammer smashed into Fossil Ice, but couldn't even scratch the solid wall. Damn it hard. Soon. Preparations for Ian's Apostle of Light casting were complete. Fossil Ice deployed to block Malik's Dark Hammer has been cancelled. Light blue and light brown colored powders are scattered. This one is for that little chicken owl. One after another. I made Fossil Ice soar at the location where Malik was muttering. Woo. Ouch. Nah. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huihui. Malik's body was pushed by Fossil Ice and began to soar upwards, stopping at the midpoint. Fossil Ice that spreads like a wall around it. Only the side facing the side of the eye was deliberately left blank. In case you have any questions, you can refer to uwmtel.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. Now, the stage is perfect. Ian raised the sword soaked in light mana above his head. Ian swings his sword down as it is. A pure white sword is engraved into the air. The pure white flames from the sword smashed the ground and flew towards the jealous Malak. Then not. Dozens of beams of light jumped out of the court, along with the pure white bird that occurred in Ian's sword attack. All those attacks attacked Malik at once. Apostle of Light Attribute. 5. Roll Rumble. The iridescent light source lit up, and a pure white flamestorm enveloped Malik of jealousy and began to burn. The Apostle of Light burnt only Malik splendidly without being blocked by the Fossil Ice and spreading to the surroundings. To let you know that I've been through a lot. Then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huihui. Malik clenched his teeth and endured the pain. In case you have any questions, you can refer to umtl.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No matter how big the level difference with Ian was, the divine power was clearly the weakness of the demons. And it was also a weapon that allowed Ian to deal with demons with a large level difference. It must have been effective. Above all, Apostle of Light had a very useful effect. Hardly shut it off. Magic. Jets. The flame of Apostle of Light has disappeared. A jealous Malak who can't properly cast his magic circle with his body scorched here and there. Apostle of Light twists the magic flow of demons for a while. Although I can use the Rock Collapse level magic, it would be difficult to use magic that requires a lot of mana control, like Rampage of Rocks. It is the most dangerous skill among Malik's patterns, because it is a large-scale magic that makes rocks spring up indiscriminately. If he uses that magic, the victims will inevitably come one after another. If you want to neutralize Malik before activating Rock Rampant, you have to pick out only those that suddenly glow from among the heads that are clinging to the body with a light elemental sword. How does Ian do that? I can't help it. Wouldn't it be best if I support and feed Apostle of Light like this? Anyway, I had a good look. Apostle of Light. There is no need to worry about the power. I disarmed Fossil Ice as I walked towards Malik, as the Fossil Ice that supported Malak's body disappeared. His massive body immediately stayed in the air. Just before Malik fell to the stage under gravity, his huge eyes turned towards me. Malik of jealousy? Psychology. I'm afraid of you. Bye, man. How? Nah. To let you know that I've been through a lot. Then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huihui. Malik shouted in a trembling voice. Surprisingly, your magic power must have been only at the level of an insect. Standing in front of the brightly lit stage, he stretched out his right arm toward Malik when the ice mana and rock mana flowed with his right hand. A large magic circle in harmony with light blue and light brown was engraved on the stage and above the man's head. A slight smile crept across my lips. People like you are a bit of a thug. As it is, I clenched my right hand and activated the magic. Soil Subsidence Rock property. The blue of the Cold Winter Ice property. 6. Permafrost Rock Boom Ice. Drooling. Dude. The magic circle that stretched above and below Malik vomited cold rocks and piles of dirt, and poured out intense cold air. Rocks with a deadly chill rise rapidly above the stage. As soon as it touched the rock rising from the stage, Malik's body rapidly cooled and froze. The soil and rocks that were pouring in from above were emptily smashed down. Ku Wu Wong. 2 rocks clashed up and down, squeezing Malik. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huihui. Malik's body is imprisoned in the light blue soil, in permafrost from which he can't escape. Chewy. The 2 rocks engulfed the Malik, releasing cold air as steam along with the ice crystals. Rock Attribute. 4. Darkness Rock Attribute. 5. Gumsteel Ingot Rock Attribute. Permafrost is a magic that forcefully crushes the opponent trapped inside it while imprisoning it in the relentless cold. However, Malik seemed to escape instant death by using Goomsteel Ingot at maximum output. Unfortunately, it was useless. Wood Duck. Permafrost continues to compress even the hard stuff. There was no way the pressure could be stopped by something like Malak's Goomsteel Ingot. His Goomsteel Ingot must have been a wreck. Yet, I loosened Permafrost. A rock that emits light blue cold air, Permafrost, disappeared as a powder with a light blue and light brown color. And what he began to see was a black rock that had been broken in vain. Inside, there was a gruesome figure of Malik, squashed in various parts of his body and filled with frozen blood. It looked like it had changed so much that it was difficult to recognize its shape. Card, Prophet? The jealous Malik began to fall under the force of gravity. Before he could even reach the stage, he had his last brushing. Lonely. Good. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malak's last words faded faintly. He became a dull gray powder and flew in the air. Congratulations. You have defeated Malik of Jealousy level 160 and gained experience. Level up. Elf has risen to 76. Acquire stat 8. You have achieved the achievement human qualification. You get an additional 10 bonus stats. As soon as the unique attribute Destroyer was released, his body suddenly became heavy and his mana rapidly decreased. The black labyrinth that filled the ceiling and walls slowly disappeared. Soon, the students here would be freed from their hallucinations, and their memories would be replaced by fabricated ones. Ian is no exception. Had it been according to the original story, he would have blew up hallucinations and fought Malik along the way. In this fight, he was hallucinating. He would also have processed memories. Then that took. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Malik of Jealousy disappeared, and a key fell onto the stage. Bounced once and landed on the floor. I went up on stage and picked up the key. It was an old silver key. You have obtained the mysterious basement key as a loot. This is a recall. I didn't know you'd get this already. After putting the key to the mysterious basement in my pocket, I got off the stage and walked towards Eva. It was in the direction of the corner where the hiccups had been heard. Eva. Yes. Eva unleashes stealth and answers my call. Eva High Rover. Psychology. I have a strong fear of you. Me. As instructed, I did. Eva starts to cry just by calling her name. I have already revealed that I am a black monster. You must have felt my magic a while ago and came to certainty. When I persuaded Threaded Eva, I'm sorry, but it put a huge pressure on her. I'm going to protect the people of the academy, including Eva. And for that, I have to keep my identity hidden. To the bachelor's ears, the less my performances are included, the better. Because there is a situation. If you are confronted with the demons in the Atla Hall, keep all the affairs of the day a secret. Your choices can save or kill many people. Eva was a coward, common sense and ordinary person, so she was able to communicate well. Even though I sold my information with useless courage this time, regret and fear are now engraved on her. It was a fact that had been confirmed with psychological insight over the past few days. A guy who is united with regret and fear will not do something similar again. Keep everything you saw a secret. You just had a party today. Eva shook her head and shook her head violently. There was no need to continue the conversation as it was already over. I took a step back. Eventually, the space created by Frenzy Banquet disappears completely. Life returned to the people's eyes. They were all out of a world of hallucinations. When there was such an awkward silence, I had already escaped from the Atla Hall. As soon as I closed the door of the Atla Hall and went out into the hallway, I stopped for a moment, after taking a deep breath, for a very, very long time. He let out a sigh of relief and sat down on the floor. Whoa. I almost fell behind. If Malik, the jealous and jealous, had tried to attack me, I would have been behind already. It must have been a long time since I met the Great Witch of Cheonang, greeted me once, and ascended to the underworld, enjoying the joy of being alive for a while. He quietly cleared his breath. A loud noise was heard through the doorway. Normal conversation sounds, music sounds. People's memories seemed to have been processed without any problems. Then I left the place. I wanted to see Dorothy, who had already made an appointment. Today, I'm a little tired. The party was in full swing. I headed to the meeting place. It was the party hall in the third building of the Palace Hall. Inside the splendid party hall, students in neat robes were chatting happily while getting drunk. Dorothy must be here. Where's Dorothy? Ma! I looked for Dorothy, averting my eyes quickly. Having changed my mind after committing to attending the Atla Hall party, I decided to accept Dorothy's partner proposal. Do you stand out when you're with Dorothy? Well, I didn't have to hide myself like a mole hiding in the ground. Currently, Alice is in a situation where she can't act hastily because the insider information is spread around the school. Even there are many ICE students who are stronger than me, so it's unreasonable to call me a black monster. The scenario was twisted. After all, Dorothy is on my side. Also, even though rumors based on the relationship between me and Luce spread, there was no damage. Then, rather than trying not to stand out, he shows off his friendship with Dorothy. Even if Alice took an interest in me, if the fact that I was under Dorothy's care became widespread, she wouldn't be able to harm me at will. That's what I had to endure until the day when Alice was subjugated. This one is for that little chicken owl. Of course, I was only emphasizing the fact that I was close with Dorothy at the party today. He struggled to stick with her, and had no intention of using her in the future. Those thoughts are just excuses. I just felt a little tired. To be honest, I just wanted to take a break for a while. I'm a human too, so I couldn't just train like crazy, as in the high school life. Proper rest is also necessary. I was expecting it to be quite exhausting after killing Malik. As the tension was relieved, the power drained away. The nerve warfare with Malik was quite exhausting. I expected this to happen, so I just decided to play one day with Dorothy, who offered me a partner for the first time on this occasion. But how come Dorothy was nowhere to be seen? It was the same wherever I looked. I came earlier than the promised time. Rather, did I come early and Dorothy hasn't arrived yet? As I was embracing such a question, I immediately heard a familiar voice next to me. This is a coincidence. You were at the party too. A voice that is elegant like a young A, but has a sharp edge. He turned his head to confirm the owner of the voice, short brown hair with red rose hairpins. In a red dress, it was Rose Red Rivera. Standing next to her stood a man of good looks, dressed in a neat robe. Brown hair like Rose, a red rose hung on the chest of the robe. Judging by his muscular body and the training sword worn around his waist, he seemed to be a student of the Knight's faculty. I think I saw it in a game. Maybe he... Rose's older brother. Your senior. He was taller than me by one head. I would be about 175 centimeters tall. It's huge. Oh, nice to meet you. Anyway, he greeted me with a smile. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Me and Rose don't get along well even with empty words. But the past is just the past. I wonder if I'll even get into an argument at the party. But Rose frowned as if it was offensive. Looks like you don't even have a partner. After all, who wants to partner with someone like you? To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Maybe it was just a spree. In case you have any questions, you can refer to uwemtel.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No, you didn't have a partner for 4 years, so you brought your brother, didn't you? Rose. Who is this guy? Yes, Razel's brother. It's the bastard I was talking about before. Rose with her arms crossed. There was an open malice in her reply, which was mixed with laughter. He had a strong older brother by his side, and he seemed to be sulking. Rose's older brother, Razel, frowned and sent me a cynical look, very poor and even cheeky. The same piggy guy who hurt me and fucked me up. A common saying comes to mind that a fart gets angry. Conflicts with Rose have always been caused by her first. Isn't it all over? In the first place, the cause was all from your side? Whoops! Suddenly, a shock hit my cheek, and my head swung to the side. It was sudden. What? All of a sudden? I felt a sharp pain in my cheek. It was because Rose's older brother, Razel, swung his fist at me. I'm not falling. It's pretty good. Razel took out a handkerchief and wiped the fist that hit me in the cheek. It was as if he had hit something dirty. The atmosphere at the party was cold, although the sound of the band's music was resonating. It was clear that the students' voices had disappeared in an instant, because everyone started looking at this as if what was going on. This is the price of guilt for hurting and upsetting my lovely little sister. Rose, you need to show conduct worthy of your status. Razel Red Rivera, LV 78. Race, human. Attributes, fire, lightning. Risk, psychology. I feel humiliated to you. Emotions were cold. You bastard, well-educated and dignified, is even more offensive. There was a widespread perception of ignoring me and polite gossip, even if I did bad things to my brother. I was like, oh, nice to meet you. I don't have a clue or a concept. Don't you think the personnel law is wrong? Razel wiped his fists and put the handkerchief back into his arms. There was no blood or dirt on it. He didn't clean anything. I don't know if it was the dust that had stuck to my body. Is it a product of lack of education? He must have come from a poor commoner's family. Say it clearly at this point. No matter how much the academy is. Don't forget your essence. You need to know yourself. Is that so? Polite word. There was frost in Razel's noble tone of voice, like a master of the noble family. Aren't you unaware of the etiquette to be respected between seniors and juniors? Where are you talking nonsense? This one is for that little chicken owl. On reflection, Razel's opinion was valid. Clearly, I must have greeted Rose in the wrong way. I'm sorry, old man. Then, I will greet you again. The proper salutation is as follows. I raised my right hand and pointed my middle finger towards Rose and Razel. Nice to meet you. You bastards. Fierce Rose. He seemed to like my greeting. Razel Red Rivera. Psychology. I feel shame and anger towards you. As expected. Razel started swinging her fists expressionlessly. Well, that's good. Rather, I can relax a bit. Let's have fun hitting and fighting. At that moment, a stellar cluster of stars appeared around Razel's head. With Charara, woo woo woo. The figure of Razel, who was about to swing a fist at me, disappeared from view in an instant, as if it had teleported. His body was being dragged somewhere, with great speed. It was the entrance door. Me and Rose were startled and turned their heads towards it. Two wook with Charara. In front of the entrance door. A pale purple-haired woman in a noble purple dress grabbed Razel's head with her outstretched arms. Suddenly, the wind pressure rose and the stars scattered. Razel knelt on the floor and struggled, but the woman did not stagger like a solid rock. A cluster of colorful stars appears around them. Starlight magic that deals with all kinds of physical power. Razel was under a powerful force and was dragged into the woman's hand at once. This one is for that little chicken owl. Overlapping the force of attraction. The woman's fine hand was holding Razel's head with a force to explode. Even basic protection magic is the best. No matter how much Razel resists, he can't even scratch a woman. Expressionless. The eyes that seem to contain the female universe turn towards Razel. Heavy mana overwhelms the air. I felt like I was living to the point of running down the back of my neck in goosebumps. The students who were watching the scene seemed to be no exception. The band stopped playing. They too were staring at the woman with pale purple hair, sweating profusely with their bewildered faces. The only thing that filled the party hall was Razel's desperate screams. Ouch. Head. My head. Saw. Save me. The figure of Razel, who was overflowing with dignity until a while ago, is nowhere to be found. Only the image of an ordinary animal struggling to survive was reflected in my eyes. Regardless of one's status, I realized once again that in the face of the fear of death, the law is equal for all. A woman with pale purple hair, standing still while holding Razel's hair, she was the second-year head of the magic faculty and the greatest power of the Marchant Academy, Dorothy Hartnova. Who has to stop that? Dorothy. My name is Dorothy. Who can stop it? Heck. Quang. Dorothy threw Razel aside as if tossing it aside, and struck it down with the strong gravitational force generated by the starlight magic. The ground collapsed, craters formed, and Razel's body was crushed. Amidst the twinkling stars, he lost his mind with bloodshed. A suffocating silence visits the party hall. Oh, my brother, suck. Then, Dorothy started walking towards Rosé. Why? To me, I feel the dark life. The swarm of stars that appeared and disappeared repeatedly driving around Dorothy was terribly intimidating. Rosé is terrified and steps backwards, but stumbles on her dress and falls backwards. Dorothy looked down at Rosé with a cold face. Rosé was trembling like a schizophrenic. It's like walking on a thin ice sheet. Even me, who is next to me, feels a great fear. I didn't do anything. I didn't yet. A faint smile appeared on Dorothy's cold face. Sorry, I'll take him. It's my partner. Because the party leader was still. Dorothy's voice seemed to be heard clearly by the other party attendees. Dorothy gathered the stars, grabbed my wrist, and turned her back. Yes, Rosé had a bewildered expression on her face. The reaction of other students was not very different. Dorothy's partner. That kid. A murmur began to be heard. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue, Marchant Academy's greatest power. Dorothy, as expected. The mere fact of being her partner drew a lot of attention. Let's go. Chairman. Senior. Dorothy grabbed my wrist and dragged me out of the place with a quick stride. It was a weak force that contained no magical power, but I was led as she led. Oh, I forgot this. Dorothy waved her fingers lightly as if she remembered something. A faint swarm of stars rose around Rosé's head. Wrath, Puck, shut up. Suddenly, gravity worked here and there, causing Rosé's head to turn sideways and stick to the floor. Rosé fell on the floor and moaned, with one last glimpse of it. I walked out of the party with Dorothy. It's a little blurry. I'm sorry. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Me and Dorothy went out of the palace and sat next to each other on a bench. The night air was cool. Street lamps made of luminous lamps were shining softly around the palace hall. The flower beds around them were showing off the colorful monocolors. Wow. Unfortunately for Dorothy, who was gloomy with an awkward smirk, she couldn't hold back her laughter any longer. It was so refreshing and funny to see Razel being robbed. Chairman, why are you laughing? Hey, you got it right. Wow. The real senior is the best? Dorothy shakes her shoulders. She turned her gaze to me and stared at me for a while, then turned her head toward me and gave me a sly smile. Flaw. Is it funny that someone got stuck? It's too much. Playful too. Dorothy seemed relieved. Perhaps because of my reaction? Oh! I felt it before. But when I looked up close, Dorothy showed a lot of strength in her decorations today. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. My favorite girl's beauty shines. Sister, I'm dying. Anyway, Dorothy was mad at me, like Luce at the end of the semester. There was a sense of pride in the fact that my lover was angry for me. I feel very excited. Does that not mean that I have become a precious being to Dorothy? This Dorothy shit life. I have no regrets. Well, bye. Smiling Dorothy. The cheeks are pretty red. There was also a faint smell of alcohol. But senior, did you drink a lot? Not a lot. A little while waiting for the chairman. My sister got a little drunk? I see. Your tongue is a little twisted. When I listened closely, it was a tone that was characteristic of a drunken woman. So, what are you going to do now? Going back to Hall 3 would be difficult due to the atmosphere. One tube? Well, Hall 2 looks prettier. So shall we go to Hall 2? Building 1 is a place where the student council president Alice will appear later and enjoy a party. I didn't really want to go. It's good. But Dorothy lifted her head and pointed towards the spire of Palace. How are you over there? Isn't that a party hall? It's okay. The wind is cool. Unbelievable. Do you want to play quietly, just the two of you? Let's go now. Nihi. Good. With Chara. There was a bunch of stars around me. Gentle star mana surrounds the body. Gradually, the body becomes lighter. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Me and Dorothy's bodies began to float as if they were in zero gravity. Around it, a cluster of brightly shining stars rose beautifully. Senior. Amidst the colorful swarm of stars, I reached out my right hand to Dorothy. As promised, he was supposed to escort him. My side has already been defended, but it is necessary to have an excuse now. Dorothy stares at my hand blankly. Soon, she smiled brightly as if she understood why I reached out. Dorothy gently placed her hand on mine. Fluffy, soft, delicate hands. Dorothy smiles with her hands raised without having to hold hands. As it was, with the power of star mana, we ascended towards the Palace Hall spire. Above the spire, I was surprised that there were more places to walk than I thought. In addition, the structures with mana stones were showing off their beautiful colors. Around it, the colorful Marchant Academy landscape was spread out. It's beautiful, but if you fall, you'll fall behind. The sound of the music inside the Palace Hall leaked out and could be heard clearly. The atmosphere is pretty good. Isn't this Dennu? To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Me and Dorothy sat on the railing and started looking out over the academy. Even if someone inadvertently fell, she was safe because of her starlight magic. Yeah, first time here. The atmosphere is good. There's some romance here, isn't it? Last year I was alone, but today there are two of us. It is an honor. I don't know, because I don't have a mirror, but my expression is probably quite relaxed right now. Chairman. Yes, the president is always overworked. Is today your first day off? Let go of your usual temperament mindset. Yes, I am resting on my own will. Neehehe. I'll do anything my sister can do for me today. Let the president do his best. It has already become a strength in itself. He seemed too naive when he said that. So he just said, thank you. First of all, what would you like your sister to do? At the same time, the sound of music flowing from inside the palace hall changed into a sweet atmosphere. It was the time when I was dancing with the heroine in A Magic Night of Marchant. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Martial arts must have started inside the party hall. Shall we dance? Great, let's go. We got up and stood facing each other in a suitable place to dance. I was just saying whatever came to mind, but when I was going to have an outdoor ball alone on a moonlit night, I started to cringe a little. However, as she wrapped Dorothy's thin waist and gently held her one hand and began to dance, it felt very good. The music volume is also quite high, so it's not too awkward. Even the moonlit night and the surrounding scenery are full of aesthetics. I felt like I was immersed in the atmosphere somehow. I think I'm feeling a little excited. Dorothy seemed to feel the same way as me. Step by step to the melody that flows softly like a butterfly, Dorothy smiled bashfully and spoke softly. Chairman, there is something I want to do. And what is it? It was around the time when the president was so overworked that there was no need to train. Yes. Hey, Regal is famous for making croissants so delicious. Let's go eat together with my sister. Good. It will be absolutely delicious. Oh, and you know what? How pretty is Lake Frey in the Duchy of Astria? I saw it in a book. Let's go there together. Anyway, I'll take the food with me. The Moss Forest in Meadownook's Vantis Forest is so pretty. Come with me. Later. Night. And again. For a while, Dorothy began to list the things she wanted to do. The way she spoke with her eyes twinkling seemed like an imperfect girl, because I knew it was Dorothy who was slowly sorting out what she had. She feels deeply how heavy the future plans she spits out casually, as if they are happy. Could it be Dorothy's true intentions? Which did not appear in Marchant's magical night. Was it because she was drunk and the person who opened her heart was in front of her, so she was telling such candid stories? Because Dorothy wasn't an official heroine. She didn't have much to do with it. Because of that, there was no way for me to know clearly Dorothy's true intentions. All I could do right now was to say what she said and keep in mind the things she wanted to do. That's why I hope to see you, even if you graduate first. Chairman. To Dorothy, who stopped dancing and looked at me from a close distance, I answered calmly. I thought so from the beginning. That's right. The president is my fan. Dorothy laughed bashfully. I was kind of worried. Dorothy came back into my arms and met me. It was a strange phenomenon. Kaya, who has been expressing her feelings for Isaac to the fullest as she often loses her mind. At that time, it felt as if I had entrusted my body to someone. And from that day on, I no longer felt like I was dreaming like a sleepwalker. A cute voice mixed with Egyo began to sound in Kaya's head. Isaac Nim. That's cool. Yeah. Isaac Nim. That's cool. Yes. I thought it was an auditory hallucination, but now I was sure what the voice was. It was another personality of Kaya. It took a concrete form and reached a point where I could have a conversation with Kaya. The so-called ego is created. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Maybe he didn't even know it was an adaptation period until now. The memories of the two personalities are shared. Hearts are shared. Feelings are also shared. It's just that the personality itself is split in two. He felt a strange sense of unity because he was like someone else, but he was no different than himself. So it was scary at first, but I quickly got used to it. Rather, I felt gratitude. Another personality, unlike his own, was full of self-confidence, and he was able to actively express his feelings for Isaac. So, Kaya was able to quickly get to know another personality. The center of the palace hall, Atla Hall. The 4-constellation event was cancelled due to an accident, and the party hall was lit up again. Furthermore, one of the 4 constellation chiefs, Malak Briar, suddenly disappeared, and tonight's 4-constellation event was completely skipped. Even so, the atmosphere of the party continued as it was created in Atla Hall to build friendships just because high-ranking students had gathered. If there is a peculiarity, the fact that the subjects of the students' conversation are mainly specific men. Really, how? Is Isaac crazy? Suddenly kissing Kaya-sama on the cheek? Look at Kaya-sama's embarrassment. Really, I didn't see it. Mo, my life is not worth it. Wait, what do you mean? I saw him holding hands with Rosetta-sama. What Kaya-sama? What? What are you all saying? Didn't you flirt with our Caridna goddess? What kind of bullshit are you? How? The students' memories did not fit together. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Meanwhile, in the middle of the party, Kaya couldn't hear the students talking or the music of the band at all. Since before, I had been covering my cheeks with both hands and only sighing. The rising body temperature showed no sign of subside. Besides, it felt like my eyes were spinning round and round. Jade-colored eyes. It was the original Kaya. She had to take some time to calm her emotions while keeping her head down. Are you happy? It felt as if another personality was whispering as he hugged his shoulder right behind him. He was an evil personality. Surely. I didn't know that Isaac would say, "You are the prettiest than anyone here." What should I do? Okay. Hey, stop it. I'm dying. I felt embarrassed and crazy. To let you know that I've been through a lot. Then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Maybe. The Atla Hall party begins and the surroundings get dark, because I didn't know that Isaac would come and whisper sweet words into my ear. It was really sudden. The evil Kaya met Isaac's tender eyes for a while, then smiled slyly and summoned her usual Kaya. Kaya's eyes also returned to the color of jade. She swallowed a breath and covered her mouth with both hands. As it was, the little boy said he had business to do and left for the door. Kaya staggered like she was going to faint. So, for a while, his body became warm and he stood still in that state. The truth is, the memory of having hallucinated as the jealous Malak was slain was just a fabricated memory. For Kaya, it was in my mind like a very vivid memory. Hey, Isaac Nim had a crush on us too. It's worth the hard work. Whoa. Let's go kiss Isaac. Huh. In case you have any questions, you can refer to ubumtl.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No more bad appetite. We are not one way, but two way. At this time, I have to stamp Isaac's lips. That's it. No matter how Dear Isaac. Don't you want to? Like the whispers of the devil. I want to drive you crazy. Damn. Thoughts and actions are drastic. It was a question for Kaya, how he had developed such a personality from himself. Isaac is my first love. I have dreamed of kissing him countless times. In case you have any questions, you can refer to uumtl.com for references. I dedicate this to Silky Goat. No matter how shy it was, Kaya couldn't help but deny the ill-informed question. Kaya closed her eyes and then opened them. In an instant, his eyes were dyed with bright blood. I'm not really honest. The evil Kaya left the party with a sinister smile. To let you know that I've been through a lot, then I've been going non-stop with this practice for nothing, and this belonged to Huehue. Meanwhile, there was a girl standing, leaning against the wall of the palace hall. In a beautiful blue dress, her beautifully braided rose gold hair was adorned with a morpho butterfly headband and a jewel-like blue flower-shaped hairpin. All the eyes of the passing students turned to it. The beauty that a girl with rose gold hair boasted had the power to make anyone look back. It was Luz Eltania, the first-year head of the Faculty of Magic. The interview with Eldork Matap was of considerable benefit. I was able to hear vivid stories about the practice that the Academy couldn't find out right away. After the interview, Luz returned to the top-ranked dormitory, Charles Hall, decorated with a maid's hand, and reached the palace hall. If everything went according to plan, the interview with Eldork Matawap had to go on for a longer period of time. But Luz couldn't stand it because she wanted to attend the party and play with Isaac. Because of this, he skipped only key information from the interview with Eldork Matawap and ended the interview quickly. You are back. Luz. Bellow. The wind-like return. A black grouse as small as a crow and a small killer whale demon with water. Mana wrapped around its body flew to Luz, the Thunder Creed, Gaul, and Bellow. The Thunder Creed rested on Luz's outstretched wrist, and Bellow floated around her. They had returned from shooting the party at Luz's order to find Isaac. It seems that Isaac went to the third building. At first glance, from what the students were saying, it seemed like they had a partner. I heard you went out together. I've never heard of Isaac having a partner. At first, Luz couldn't even ask Isaac if he had a partner because of the interview with Matop. Even so, the psychological damage was unavoidable. Partner? There was two, because Isaac has many friends besides me. Luce's soft voice echoed through the night air. She has only one friend, Isaac, but Isaac has many friends. Recalling that disturbing fact, Luce softly kicked his tongue and lowered his eyes. If there was no one around Isaac, as Luce had only Isaac, if only she had been by Isaac's side, he could have monopolized his time and mind. Such regret suddenly grew in Luce's heart. By the way, the story of Isaac being beaten by a man named Razel before going outside. Braincreed was unable to speak anymore and swallowed his breath, because Luce's unfeeling eyes turned towards him at a frightening speed. What did you say? A soft and restrained tone. But there was an ice-cold life in that voice. For Luce, Isaac is a repulsion in itself, because the girl who couldn't open her heart to others is the only man who can open her heart. So, if someone touches Isaac, Luce costs $1,000 and becomes unbearable. It was also the Braincreed that had favor with Isaac, but it was nothing compared to Luce. Did I say it wrong? Braincreed started sweating. This Bello has brought news of Isaac's playboy. Just then, Bello intervened. In terms of the situation, it was something to be grateful for in the situation of the Thundercreed. But what Bello brought out was not at all. After hearing the shocking news again, Luce looked at Bello with a puzzled face this time. To listen to the students, Kaya kissed Kaya on the cheek, held Legeda's hand, and flirted with Karidna. Of course. I don't know who everyone is. Then, right away from the party. That's pretty good. Isaac, this intrepid killer whale Bello, I saw you again. Whoa! Bello explained what he had heard in a cheerful little boyish voice. An ignorant killer whale demon who can't read the atmosphere and only shows excitement. A dark and cold life began to flow from Luce. Each time Bello continued to speak, his life became more concentrated. Braincreed swallowed dry saliva. In Luce's eyes, dark shadows faded. It's no wonder the students weren't talking about Isaac. Although Luce thinks that Isaac is not a great person to flirt with women. It must be true that there must have been such a thing. What do you mean? Luce, Braincreed asked anxiously. Isaac, we must find it. Luce's eyes scanned the palace hall. What the hell was Isaac doing at this party while he wasn't there? And what was he going to do? The story of being beaten by Razel. The story of the Playboy? Luce couldn't quite hear it. This became a catalyst and eventually led Luce to resort to a last resort. Whoops! The magic tool he had prepared in advance came out of Luce's sleeve. Small stick. When activated, mana flows out at once and has the ability to trap the opponent. It was a powerful restraint made of Luce's mana. Prepared by the Altania family? I think I should be with Isaac now. I had no intention of harming Isaac's healthy relationships, because it is against the law and morals. But what if he was beaten like the Thundercreed said? And, like Bello said, slamming at any woman. I wanted to make Luce so that Isaac could stay by my side, even with a little force. Protective instinct. Exclusivity. Love for friends? All those emotions are intricately twisted like a thread. Luce's feelings for Isaac were not so simple. Isaac must have a partner now. Are you going to ignore it and bring it back? Did I? Yes. At Luce's resolute reply, Shinzo shook his head. Isak and that partner must all have substitutes for each other. It doesn't matter if one person disappears or not. But I am not. It didn't matter if it was selfish. Luce missed Isaac so much and wanted to be with him. I'm the only Isaac. Luce moved her feet with a cold face. First, she decided to deal with one and go see Isaac.